Here we go. Welcome everybody to Rolling with the Punches TV. Once again, this is our Sunday live show. We've been having some problems, some difficulties going live because of Facebook, for whatever reason, is now not allowing us to go live, but it's okay. We found a solution. We're recording our show, and within an hour, hour and a half after this show, we will be sending this to our Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel, Rolling with the Punches TV. Today, we have a special guest, two special guests, and we're going to go with age before beauty. One of our first special guests is Mike Achondo's grandfather. Mike Achondo's grandfather was a man that raised him, not only raised him, but was the man responsible for making Mike the man that he is today, making him a world champion. But before we hear from him, we also have a very special guest, former world champion, Librado Andrade is with us also. We're honored, Librado, to have you with us. It's an honor to have you with us. But like I said before, we're going to go with age before beauty. I'm not saying you're beautiful, my man, but I see you hiking everywhere, though. You're in perfect shape still. But, yeah. So let's start.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's start off with the age before beauty. Let's start off with Alfred Achondo. Alfred, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being our guest. And Mike, once again, thank you for giving us the honor of having your grandfather on the show. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about him.
I enjoy this. You know, my grandpa started me off 5 years old, you know, and he took me into the gym. Every single day. He taught me how to go, how to be in the gym, how to work hard, how to get for, if you want something, you got to work for it. You got to go 100% all the time. My grandpa taught me that. I got that from him. And you know what? He instilled that in me. And you know how he raised me my whole entire life, and you know what an awesome example that he set for me, and I thank him, and it's my father. He's my father. He taught me everything, and I love him for that, and I appreciate it 100%.
Well, Mr. Achondo, tell us a little bit about how Mike was as a child. Mr. Achondo, tell us a little bit about Mike.
Oh, Mike was a very active kid. He was a kid that could pick up talent. You just had to show him a few steps and to get him rolling. Yeah. But he got rolling. He caught on very quickly for a young man. Not because of my grandson, his son, but he learned fast. He learned very fast. He would have been a great champion.
Yes. And you know what, Mr. Achondo, you said that, you know, he was, as a young man, always rolling. And you know what? He still is rolling. He's one of our co-chairs at Rolling with the Punches TV. So he continues rolling with the punches. Dave, you have a question for Mr. Achondo.
Well, you know, you're a man after my own heart. I was raised by my grandfather as well, too, for what little short time that I had him. You know, to take your grandchild, you know, and raise him as your own child, that has to be something special. How was that for you to raise your grandson that way?
It was a little rough at first because he come from a different area, not that all from the same area, but he just he needed some taming down and showed respect, and right away he caught on to all of that, and he turned out to be one of the rough boys in the neighborhood. I mean, that I'm talking about he could handle himself. Learning so fast.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mr. Achondo, were you always a boxing fan? I mean, you were around in the 60s, in the 50s. Do you remember does any fight, what was the best fight you ever saw other than Mike winning the championship? We're talking about old fights. What fight comes to mind?
Muhammad Ali.
Really? Okay.
George Foreman.
That was a great fight.
Those were great fights.
Yes. Were you there? Did you used to go to there in LA to go see the fights?
I would drop in once in a while to train if I could get a ride to downtown LA.
Uh-huh. Wow.
We didn't have a way of getting around, so we had to get there the best way we could, and when we could, we took advantage of it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really great.
That is awesome.
I had a great learning experience in handling kids, even though I had 4 of my own, and they're all women, but and it was great bringing to the family, and it was rough at first. He was a little out of control, but as things went, he settled down. He got wise. He got smart, and it seemed like he couldn't stop learning. He's just on learning. And I said, "Oh boy, we got something here that compliments were always there for him, no matter where we go." He said, "Oh, they're little Mighty Mike and little Mighty Mike." Everybody seemed to knew Mike, and I'm talking about everybody in LA County for sure.
Yes,
knew who Mighty Mike was, and he had a great record, amateur record, outstanding, professional record, great record, and he would have been a wonderful champion. And he ended up a wonderful champion.
Yes,
He's a good.
Yes, he was. He was an outstanding champion. Librado, did you know Mr. Achondo? Because I know you trained with Mike, right?
No, we never trained together, but we grew up together.
Alongside.
Yeah. We would fight on the same shows. And Mike used to bring everyone from La Puente over. You know, he had the loudest crowd. Everybody was Mighty Mike, Mike. It was really cool. Like when he would fight, he was very powerful. He just come and destroy whoever they put in front of him, and the crowd will always get into it. He had the biggest crowds in California. I mean, there in the area of LA. I remember that for sure.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had some great times.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah.
We go way back.
We come from the battles of the ballroom, and then me and Mike. Yeah. Then me and Mike moved to the Arrowhead Pond.
That's it. We did.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. We upgraded.
Mora used to be over there. Yeah. So then when Roy signed for the Arrowhead Pond, now which is the Honda Center, me, Mike, and a few other fighters, we would fight at the Arrowhead Pond regularly, and the other fighters will fight at the Battle of the Ballroom.
That's right.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was like coming up, you know. And then Roy signed with Golden Boy, and all of us moved with Golden Boy because Golden Boy kind of bought Roy. He bought his promotion, and he bought Battle of the Ballroom. Then we moved to the Olympic Auditorium.
The Olympic Auditorium, that was fantastic.
Yeah, so we were the lucky ones and one of the last ones to really get to enjoy that historical place and have wonderful fights there. So yeah, we were lucky.
Great nights. We shared great nights together at Librado. Times.
That nobody can take from us. They are here like yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. That's beautiful. Yeah.
And Grandpa was right there. Grandpa was right there in the ring. Cut, man. He did all the cuts that I had. He stopped them and all that. Did a great job. Fantastic job. And you know what?
Yeah.
I gotta thank him for that. You know, he saved a lot of fights like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Librado, whenever I think, and people ask me about Mexico, you know, where I live in Fort Lauderdale, and there's a lot of, you know, people from New York there, from Canada, from Philadelphia. And when they think about Mexico, they always talk about Cancun. They always talk about Puerto Vallarta. They always talk about Cabo San Lucas. And I always tell everybody, you want to go to Mexico, you need to go to Guanajuato. Guanajuato is Mexico. Cancun, Cabo San Lucas, Acapulco,
No.
eso no es México.
So America.
Guanajuato is Mexico, Dave. I mean, Guanajuato, every time I've gone there, I did some training for the state police, federal police, and the municipal police there. And I'll tell you, whenever the training would come up for Guanajuato, my hand was always up when I was a police officer because I love Guanajuato. And with that, I know that that's where you're from, right, Librado? You were born
Exactly
in
from
Guanajuato?
from. Yep.
Really?
Right from there.
My
So
cousin, Librado.
uh-huh.
My cousin lives over there in Guanajuato.
Oh man, he must love it over there.
He told me I gotta live over there. He said I gotta move over there. He said,
No,
so
you gotta go. You know what? He wouldn't have to tell you. If you go and you really get to know that part, you would want to go live over there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, life is not easy living in Mexico.
Yeah.
But when somebody wants and is a good person, everything happens for you and you'll be able to make it. But
Fantastic.
a little bit of Guanajuato is where all of our independence started.
Yes.
And it's so full of history. When I'm done, I'm gonna share a video with you guys.
Mhm.
The region where I'm from, which is Guanajuato, is called El Bajío.
Mhm.
El Bajío is a very powerful region worldwide, and everyone should know that because it affects the whole world, you know. But it's a beautiful place.
Well,
Wow.
I'll tell you, Librado, when I went to Guanajuato, like I said, I went several times, but on one of the times that I went to Jose Alfredo Jimenez's house where he was raised. I went to his tomb. I took
Dolores Hidalgo.
Wow.
Dolores Hidalgo. My God, I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys know, but one of the best poets, one of the best composers Mexico has ever had is a gentleman by the name of Jose Alfredo Jimenez. And I don't know if you know this or not. When you hear the song, you know, Guanajuato, El Caballo Blanco, and it goes on, over 100 songs, over 200 songs he composed. But did you know, Librado, that he did not know how to play the guitar?
Yeah, he did not know.
He
did not go to school neither.
He did not go to school either. What he would do, he would whistle the songs. He would write the songs, and then they would come and they would play them, him whistling in, and that's how, I mean, talking about a genius, you know?
Wow.
But the reason why I'm bringing him up, when people think about Guanajuato, they think about Jose Alfredo Jimenez, Padre Hidalgo, Dolores Hidalgo, but in the boxing world, people talk about Librado Andrade, a former world champion, and you represent Guanajuato.
Oh man,
I like that.
I love
Definitely.
I love being part of that history and that part of being. I just got lucky, or our dedication, just like Mike and everyone, all the fighters. We all dedicate our lives and we go through a lot of pain to get where we want to get. And it's just a great gratitude and a great feeling just to know we made it that far, you know?
Yes.
Of course, now we're in a different era. We're in a different times where social media validates who you really are and stuff like that. But back then, it was like the honor of a handshake, you know? Now a handshake doesn't mean anything.
No.
But back then, we were like real fighters.
Yeah.
The real fighters, you know?
Yeah.
Now we're not Instagram fighters. But our history is there, you know?
Literally, yes. Librado, quick question. When you were growing up, who was your boxing idol? When you were
I really didn't have a boxing idol, but I really enjoy watching Julio Cesar Chavez and see how all the people were just behind him.
Okay.
And I used to love the old fights like Pepino Cuevas, Zarate, all of them. And I used to see on the TV that they would fight at the Olympic Auditorium. They had fights every weekend, and every weekend was great fights, you know? So when I got to fight there, it was like one of the things that because I saw it on TV, I just couldn't believe it. The first time we fought there, that Oscar de la Hoya brought the Boxeo de Oro, and he brought it to the Olympic Auditorium. I went straight to one of the walls and I hugged it. And I say, if this wall tell me, if this wall can speak to me and tell me what he's seen, you know?
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest things, you know?
Wow. Do you sign that little that little circle of stars who performed there? Did you sign that little area?
Yep.
The backstage?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That was great. Great. I always wonder what happened to that. I want to get it. I want to frame it. I want to have it.
I don't know what happened to it, man. Well,
They
a
had-
church got it out of all things.
No, I know, but they had to have taken that with them. I'm sure they didn't leave it there. So what happened to that piece? We want it.
Yeah. I was talking to Raul Jaimes. He used to work for Golden Boy. You remember Raul Jaimes?
Of course.
And he told me, you know, they offer us to put a bed to buy the Olympic auditorium, and we didn't. We let it go. So a church came, or a priest or somebody, the congregation, and they bought it. So now it became like a place to talk about God and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I really thought that a boxing event should always be there, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Because it's just so historical and rich in history.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, walking through those tunnels, it was just so amazing to be able to just even smell the stinky hallway and all that. I mean, just the history involved.
The bathrooms, they smell nasty.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know what though? It smelled like home because we were comfortable there. It was that was our time to shine. And you know what? That was the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
You know, Librado, Dave Trujillo, Coach Trujillo, he is the manager, CEO of and the owner of House of Pain in Temecula. And he's right now coaching and managing new future fighters. And Dave, do you have any questions for our champ?
Well, I want to go take a trip down memory lane with the champ here.
Okay.
You know, the time when you came out and you made me really proud was when the first fight you came up against Lucien Boutte. You know, that fight right there, I mean, I fell in love with you, man. I mean, you were robbed. I believe you were robbed of that fight. That's why you got your second chance, you know. And I know things happen in the second, you know, but I got to tell you, you know, the dog that you had in you coming into that fight where Lucien Boutte was supposedly couldn't be touched by anybody at that time. And you came in and you took him apart. What was your thought mindset on fighting this guy who was pretty much you know, untouched by everybody until you got in there in that ring with him?
Well, when I did the press tour, I didn't think anything. I just knew I was fighting for the world title, and that was it. I said, I'm gonna prepare myself and I'm gonna train really hard. So the first thing when they picked me up, we were driving from the airport and we were gonna do a press tour and we were gonna visit like 7 cities or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the drivers that is driving, he tells me, "Hey, Librado, you know that Lucien Boutte, as he fights and as he gets later on the rounds, he gets stronger." And it was like he planted a seed on me and said, and I said to myself, "Oh yeah, we're gonna find out about that." Because if he wants to fight in the later rounds, that's where exactly I want to take him.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it made me so powerful, feel so good that I went from little to more and more. And the fight will progress, I was finish him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really thought during the fight that the referee was going to stop the fight, and he never did. I just did. I can't believe it. I mean, what do I have to do? Do I have to kill him or what? Does he have to drop dead or what?
He was out on his feet several times. His feet several times.
And the referee kept saving him. Every time he separated me, he would lean towards me and push me away. He just didn't separate us. He would lean on me and push me. If you look at the fight, he pushed me like in the 8th rounds, 9th round, something like that. And I fell on my butt and he was counting so fast. And he saw it that he pushed me. It was literally a push and he counted me. Yeah. And he was counting so fast. By the time I went down and got up, he was at 8 already.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just say, you know what? I'll take it. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. Life has been good to me. All I can say is thankful for all those moments, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I still believe till this day that you were the only man that really whipped whipped up on Lucien Boutet, and I'm proud of you for that. And I thank you for bringing that dog out in that fight, because for me, it was a very memorable fight. And I want to thank you for that. That was beautiful. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Champ, what are you doing now? I think you're working for PBC now, right? Is that
Yes.
where you're working, or am I? Yes, correct, right?
Yes, I work for PBC. I'm part of the PBC family. Al Heyman brought me aboard when he made the company of PBC.
Mhm.
He said, Librado, you don't have to work. You don't have to fight anymore if you don't like. Come
Yeah.
work with me.
Mhm.
And I was blessed.
Yes.
I was blessed the moment I met Al Heyman.
Mhm.
He brought me with him, and
Awesome.
he still has me here. Very involved in boxing. I am very involved in boxing. Every single day is boxing for me,
Mhm.
but it's thanks to him, you know.
So, what is your job responsibility while working for PBC? What are one of
Well-
your many not just many job responsibilities?
Well, it's not really much what we have to do. I just travel with certain fighters, especially the Hispanic fighters.
Mhm.
For example, Andy Reese. Let me see who else. Omar Figueroa,
Mhm.
which he fought last time.
Yes.
Brandon Figueroa, which is fighting this weekend.
Yes.
All the Hispanic fighters, I'm
Okay.
usually there.
Uh-huh.
So I usually go work for PBC on the West Coast. So everything has to do with Texas, Arizona, LA, and whatever they need me to do, I'm there.
Yes.
I can translate for the fighters, be with them. Whatever they need me to do is what I do.
Wow,
My
that's
title
awesome.
is boxing advisor,
Mhm.
but what I do is whatever they ask me to do.
Well, I'll tell you, you're living the dream.
Heck yeah.
I think right now, Mike over there is looking at you going, hey, give me an application. I'm asking, give me an application. All of us are asking,
Right.
man, you're living the dream, brother.
That
You're
is the
living the
dream.
dream, right?
Well,
guys?
thank you.
Congratulations. Yes.
It's
God
all
bless you.
possible because of Al Heyman, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not think Al Heyman is one of the greatest men in this earth for fighters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoever he touches is blessed.
Yes.
I always have seen Al one in a million, you know. You only see a man like that once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm very blessed to be part of it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
I'm so happy to hear that for you, Librado, because you know why? You deserve it. You've worked very hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
We go way back, and I know how hard you worked. I used to be there. I was right there, you know, and I saw how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it, my bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Much deserving, brother. God bless you.
Yes.
Man. That's beautiful. With that said, Canelo, but before we get into Canelo, you work for PBC. I understand Caleb Plant fights for PBC. So the next big fight, according to what Canelo mentioned and according to what all statistics and everybody else social media wants, is Canelo and Caleb Plant in September. Do you see it happening?
I believe so. I think it's gonna
Okay.
happen.
Yes.
Let me tell you something about Caleb.
Yes.
I'm gonna be very honest. And when he started with PBC, he really was never tested. He was very successful because of his style. He has a very difficult style, very flamboyant, he moves a lot and he looks good. But Caleb Plant, just like Canelo, he has been able to look good each fight.
Mhm.
He's growing into the sport. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know, because he hasn't lost yet, he still has a lot to mature, Caleb Plant. Maybe he's not mature enough for Canelo, but he has the potential of that. He really opened my eyes when he fought Jose Orizgati.
Ujizgati. Yes.
He really surprised me. And I really said, you know what? Caleb Plant has it. He has the goods. And that always happens with a fighter when he's presented with that challenge in front of him. They really show and they really come out. You know, when they see a fight that they might not win, and they evolve. They become better, faster, stronger.
Truth comes
And
out.
that's what happened to him, to Plant.
Yeah.
So if they do fight this year, and if Canelo takes I give him a good chance. I really give him a good chance.
Yeah. Talking about giving chances, what was your opinion when Canelo, prior to the fight, fighting Billy Joe Sanders? Did you give, I mean, we all give a fighter's chance. I mean, every fighter we respect, but did you basically, what was your opinion prior to the fight? And then let's talk about the fight.
The thing with Canelo is there is no more mystery with Canelo. It's just very predictable. You know he's going to win. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't see Canelo. The little bit of a downfall with Canelo is that he doesn't have that mystery anymore. It's just so predictable that he's going to win. And it's great, but it does nothing to him. The easier he wins, the worse it gets for him. Because nobody has been able to come and present a challenge for him. It's just too easy for him. And somebody needs to make him fight. Somebody needs to really put Canelo in a dogfight, what like Golovkin did.
Yes.
So he can really elevate, and so people can appreciate his fighting. But when it's just too easy, like this less fights that he had, people just don't go for him.
Yeah. Champ, would you call that like something like the Larry Holmes syndrome? That Larry Holmes was just too good forever, and that he just got boring after a while, and
exactly
people needed a new flavor. Yeah, that's what I understand exactly what you said. Now, that being said, real quick, let me ask you this. The Charlo brothers and wanted to come up and fight him, and he went ahead and he jumped a weight class and whatnot. And everybody says that a lot of people think that he's running or what have you. I really think he'd walk through the Charlo brothers myself, but would those type of fighters be more interesting because of their physicality and their athleticism?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think who presents a challenge, this is the problem that Canelo is doing. Canelo is moving up in weight classes, up and down, choosing fights, choosing who he's gonna fight. It kind of looks bad because there's a lot of fighters that they struggle so much, they go through eliminations and they go through hard fights to get to the world title, when Canelo just chooses to fight whoever he wants, world champion, without elimination, without going through the rules, because in a way money talks. It's in a way taking advantage of his power, and kind of is taken away from him. He's a great fighter. He's very powerful. He's very dedicated. He's not bad for the sport because he's making a lot of fighters good money. Whoever fights him makes money. But he really needs to stay in one division and clean out the division instead of avoid certain fighters and then decide to fight for a world title in a different world class.
Agreed. I agree with that. Now, the other thing, I wish Zerto would actually take a step down in weight and meet Canelo at that, what is it, the 168 division or what have you? What do you think about Gilberto Ramirez, Zerto?
Yep.
Zurdo, I always saw him kind of very plain, very dull, the way he fought. He makes exciting fights. He reminds me so much of Julio Gonzalez. You guys remember Julio Gonzalez?
Right. That was your stable?
But as a left-hander. Same thing, but as a left-hander. He throws the same shots and stuff like that. Even at some point when he was coming up, I said, this dude fights exactly like Julio Gonzalez. Someday I would like to fight him. Because I used to spar with Julio all the time. But,
right. Wow.
But I don't know.
Do you see him giving Canelo a problem, champ?
No.
No? Yeah.
No. He's too slow. He's too wide. His punches are too wide. I think Canelo Canelo will have difficulties with somebody that comes forward, like Golovkin did. He comes forward and fights. And he had a little bit of problems until he figured them out. But somebody a little bit more powerful, like Benavidez, I think he will give him problems.
Benavidez is small.
You know, to me, my dream come true would be he fights Caleb Plant in September. He beats him, knocks him out. He beats him fair and square. And then either December or January, we have Benavidez against Canelo in el Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. What do you think about that?
That would be great. Yeah.
Over 102,000 people would be watching that. Could you imagine that?
Too. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, hey, whisper to Al Heyman, tell him to do it. Hopefully he gets it done. Could you imagine that? Yeah.
The thing is that Al will always make fighters money. Yeah. He will always be on the side. If there's money to be made, let's make it.
Yeah.
The thing is, Canelo is the one that's choosing the opponents. Canelo is the one that's choosing the fights.
Yeah.
Not really. He's the one dictating how everything is going to be. And that was the bad thing about Mayweather. Mm-hmm. So when Mayweather was fighting, he was choosing who to fight. And that made him seem like he was doing bad. But of course, they have that kind of power and they can do it. But that's a little bit of the downfall. Having that kind of power presents to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The politics.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And the politics of it all. We're trying to bring that fight now, not later back. We're trying to bring that theory back. Fight now, not later. Yeah. We love when the young fighters come out and they challenge the older fighters, and right now, let's fight now. Let's not fight. I'm not going to wait till you're old or you're not going to wait till I'm old. Let's do this right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. I respect nobody. I respect I respect them all. But what I'm saying is I have a lot more respect for champions who have L's on their resume because they came back and they keep coming back and they keep coming back. That's
who's a perfect example of that? Salido.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He was awesome. Everybody loved him because you just knew he was gonna come back, Even if he was getting his ass kicked, he would just come back.
Yeah.
And he's a congressman now in Mexico, right?
Right.
Congresista, senador in Mexico. One of the two. Yeah. And I mean, he's a politician. And I think he's with AMLO, right? He's with Morena. He's with that party.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Is he? Well, my respect to him. Him and Castillo. Castillo's also in Sonora.
Yep. Yes. And they're politicians now.
Politicians, yes. Yeah.
Eric Morales is getting into politics too.
Yes, Eric Morales too. Yes, absolutely right. I think he was with he's with AMLO too in Tijuana. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, guys, you know what? We're gonna get ready to close up the show. Any last words, Champ, that you want to tell us? Any last words?
Not really. Just thank you for having me, guys.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of this journey. Still here. We still have it in our memories. Thank you, Mike, for sharing all those memories that we have. Thank you to your grandpa and all of you guys that make our fighting possible. It's living our dream, Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Champ. And Mike, Champ, what do you have to say? Let's have your grandfather give us a farewell, and then we'll end it with Dave giving us a farewell.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this. It's a great day.
Thank you, sir. It was an honor and a privilege to have you and Champ and our champion with us. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, guys.
Señor.
A ustedes.
Yeah. Mike, any last words?
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yes, brother. I wanted to say that, brother. You got it before me. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there, to all the moms out there. You're doing a great job. Keep doing it. All right.
Yes. Now, yeah, that's right. Thank you, man. I send you a big hug, Mike. Stay safe, man. Stay strong. Love you guys.
Love you, Champ. Thank you, Gil. Last words.
Well, to all of you guys up here, it's just a pleasure to be able to share the screen with you guys. It's something in my life I never thought I'd ever witness, and to be here with you guys and to be able to talk to all of you guys the way that we're able to talk is, for me this is my history books being recorded right now. I'm a coach and we got a lot of young kids that we're just trying to save them and teach them to become, you know, productive members of society, good young men and women. And, you know, they give us champions out of that. Well, we'll take that too. But it's just a pleasure and an honor. And I couldn't have done it, especially with all the crew from Rolling with the Punches. So all I got to say is happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and God bless you all.
Yeah, and Librado, one last thing.
You.
Thank you, and thank you, Mike Achondo, world champions. You entertained us. You entertained my father. May he rest in peace. But he saw your fights on Saturday nights, on HBO, on Showtime, on el Canal 12. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Yeah,
And,
thank you.
gracias.
And all of that is dying, you know.
Yes.
All this social media is killing all that, being on TV and stuff like that. So
Yes.
we were lucky. We were lucky to be the ones that were there. So Mike,
Yes.
we should be very proud of what we've done.
What an honor, Librado, to share with you. You're my boy, Librado. I appreciate that.
Same here, man.
Yeah. Thank
Be
you,
safe,
guys.
man.
Have a great night, and happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers in the world. Thank you.
Happy
And
Mother's Day.
God bless you.